statistic is false. It is a myth that a large share of people can't cover a $400 emergency expense. Why does the story persist? What's interesting about this story is that I'm 40 years old, okay? And I panic. I couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense until like March of this year. You know, like I haven't, and it's so devastating to people. And this guy decides to write this thing that is, I think it doesn't take into account people who might not report for a survey. I don't know what it is, but I know a large amount of people get killed by $400 emergency expenses. It fucks up 6 months of their life, right? I mean, have you ever had something like that? Because I have 100 stories about it, but a $400 to $1,000 expense. So what he's saying, a large share of American. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just numerically, the amount of people that are bringing in like $10 an hour, $15 an hour. You're talking about a whole week's worth of work. Like a quarter of their income is $400, and then you're beyond that. It's like it's not like money you earned. It's $400 out the door, meaning you have to like net that shit like after taxes.
Right. And when you talk about, because I'm sure we're going to get into this thing, I think a lot of people believe that they can just look at what you're bringing in and figure out that it isn't killing you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're looking at it in a way of like,
yeah, people make the medium household income $60,000. Anybody can afford a $400 thing,
Right, but there are people that make $60,000 a year that can't.
Right, they're also paying, some of them, several $1,000s in student loan payments. If both people went to school to make that $60,000, they're also paying $1,500 a month in student loans.
Rent.
$400 is such a large amount of money to just have out of nowhere.
Right, and I think one of the things that irritates me about the headline to this, at least, is that it is acting like $400 isn't a big deal. And $400 is like a big deal to a lot of fucking people. Yeah. And
they're talking about like just having $400 ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think because I think once you start saying that $400 people won't be killed by a $400 emergency expense. Once you start saying something like that, then you start insinuating that people have $400 sitting around ready for an emergency expense.
And that's exactly the type of thing where, like, that's where I would go to a payday advance for, would be $400, and then I would be stuck for the next 18 months rewriting every 2 weeks.
Right. I think that, I mean, like,
when I was younger, when I was making $12.50, when I was making $15 an hour, by myself or with my partner making about the same, there was no way that $14 or $400 was ever available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get started and get in here. This guy's name is, love to get the names of guys. Michael R. Strain. Like a virus, right. Almost, this guy. A large share of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense. You probably heard politicians and journalists breathlessly report that shocking statistic more than once in the last year or so. And then he lists a few recent examples. Kamala Harris said it. Elizabeth Warren said it. Bernie Sanders said it. Okay? I'm not going to read like their absolute quote. It says 4 in 10 Americans are unable to afford a $400 emergency expense. So that's 40%,
40% of people can't do it?
That's what Bernie said. I mean,
okay.
I think they all had kind of different numbers, or some of them didn't have it. But most of them are right around 40%. And his first sentence of commentary says, "This claim has never seemed plausible to me. After all, if so many..." Yeah.
Oh, God. You have no lived experience of your time when $400 crushed you? You never had to get your car together or be repossessed and you need $400 today?
I mean, and $400 is like the low end of car repair. These
days for sure.
Okay. Because I didn't want to like exaggerate, but I can tell you that I bought a car from a buy here, pay here. And that's the other thing this guy isn't even fucking thinking about, is that if the car breaks down once and you get it fixed, it'll probably break down again. Like these cars, we're not talking about a one-time thing. We're not talking about your fucking Tesla battery caught on fire and you had to go get it replaced and it was $400 and they got it fixed and then you drove again forever for fucking whatever 10 years with it and that's it. These aren't just one things. These are compounding expenses, you know? A lot of times when you go to get your car fixed, they'll find other stuff, but they'll say, okay, I mean, a lot of times when you're broke, and I know a lot of our listeners have definitely done this, and I know I've done this, is like you stand at the mechanic and you say, what is the minimum amount I can do to get this running so that I can go to fucking work? You know?
Yeah.
Because
I know you recommend I do this, but what will make this work?
Yeah.
One time, I had a fucking car that a turbo went out on it. And the price they wanted for a brand new was insane. I went and got a used one that I got like a used part that I sourced myself because the guy wanted so much goddamn money for it. And I brought it to him to put it on because I couldn't get the fucking car. They had that thing. They almost were going to take possession of that car before I could pay that bill.
Right. I had a car
that I just had bought it was probably a year after I bought it. And this major fucking part went out.
Yeah. So this guy says, after all, if so many Americans can't cover a relatively minor unexpected expense, that would affect daily life in obvious ways. You'd frequently have a coworker out of the office who can't afford to buy a new tire. You'd frequently hear from friends and neighbors who can't afford to fix their dishwashers. You do!
You aren't hanging out with these people. You don't hang out with regular people.
I know! I hear that all the time!
You don't go to a job. You're out of touch with reality.
Yeah! This is fucking crazy to me that this guy has never been to a job where people call off because the dishwasher all the time can't make it to the fucking show or make it to work. Yeah, I call the show work now.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, of course.
There's always people at work that can't fucking make it to work because their car is broken down or... fuck, send the dishwasher to pick up Brian because his fucking car isn't working and bring him into work. And then two people are out for a few minutes, but you get it all taken care of. Like, this is so fucking common, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's wild just thinking about, usually my place in an office is I do not bring my shit to the table because everybody else is like going off and I just can react to what they're doing. And it is a constant barrage of like, my kid got injured and I have a $500 bill now that I have to budget for, on a tight ass budget. I'm trying to save. I mean, you're talking about these people are not saving for their kids' college funds. People are not putting aside 401ks and shit, you know, and a lot in these circumstances. And this guy has no fucking. Never met him.
He's never talked to like a waiter.
To somebody on the bus before.
Never talked to a waiter. Never talked to.
Never partied with like a school teacher before.
Yeah, cashier. Have you ever like talked to the cashier at that? Like, there's so many people working in the service industry that
I know
you could talk to every one of them and they would have stories.
Oh,
every one of them.
Make you sick.
Yeah, laborers on like job sites.
Yeah.
When I was a roofer, like the general laborers, the $9.50 an hour people, the people that sweep up, the people that kind of do the hardest work, but the easiest work in a way. All of those people had trouble getting into work at times because their cars were broken down and they couldn't afford to fix them.
Right.
Right.
I mean, car payments are, you're talking about either you have $400 to fix your car or you have $400 a month to pay for a reliable car, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Others have been equally skeptical of the $400 story and published convincing rebuttals. Nevertheless, it has become the conventional wisdom. So when this issue flared up again last month, I decided to look in it. It turns out the claim that nearly half of Americans are a flat tire away from financial crisis is largely based on an inaccurate reading of one survey question. Let me say this too. It's not a fucking flat tire. A flat tire, if you buy a new tire, is $95.
Right.
You know, like you get them cheaper, but I mean, let's just imagine that somebody's getting their low profile tire fixed. It's $100. That's not $400. A flat tire. It's so out of touch, dude.
My tire's a little bit more than that.
Okay. Is it $400?
No.
Okay. So the question comes from the annual report on economic well-being of U.S. households by the Federal Reserve. The report finds that in 2018 that 61% of adults would cover $400 unexpected expenses using cash or its equivalent. Politicians and many of the media seem to be subtracting 61 from 100 and concluding that 39% of people, to use Warren's phrase, can't come up with the money that they need to handle the situation. So I guess I see the direction we're going in. He is saying that, like, well, you can get a check smart. You can get a loan.
Yeah, your parents
You
will
can
give
use
you
a credit card.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Instead, as the Fed report makes clear, the remaining 4 in 10 adults would have more difficulty covering such an expense. Many of them would be able to make it work by carrying a credit card balance or borrowing from friends and family. Presumably, some of these adults are 18-year-olds borrowing from their parents, but I'm not sure about that. So why did you write it, you fucking asshole? You know? So he's saying that, and this is something I would have said too. I could have told you that a lot of people have credit out for catastrophic car failure. You know what I mean? $400 emergencies.
Yeah.
But those aren't good solutions to this thing.
Yeah.
It's not like that we're leaning on a payday advance as the way to fix the problem of people not having $400 in emergency expenses instead of talking about raising wages.
Right.
And or universal health care to bring up the amount of pay you take home on your check, or any of the millions of fucking things that we could do.
Yeah, I mean, and why don't they do a fucking budget? Why don't they have those people try to do a budget of somebody, you know, that is living in those circumstances? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they would just be, I guess, condescending about it.
The report
Eat
also
cheese sandwiches every day.
Yeah, this is fucking sick, man. This guy is a fucking asshole. Because this is bullshit.
Yeah, he's just saying you don't have it so tough. I'm a rich guy, and I know that you don't have it so tough out there, you complainers.
Yeah, and he's So basically, this guy's a fucking asshole, man. Fuck this guy. I'm not gonna read the rest of his stupid article. Let's look at some of the headlines for his other pieces.
Okay.
Before we get into this next thing, pieces of shit. Yeah, his other pieces of shit. Michael R. Strain. The case for a $15 minimum wage is far from settled. The story of stagnating wages was mostly wrong.
Wow.
Stop poor mouthing the 2-earner family.
Wow.
So
what's poor mouthing?
It's fucking saying, stop saying that it's bad that both parents have to work at a job.
Oh, yeah. That is bad. I'm a poor mouther. I like that term. I've never heard that before, but I'm a poor mouther.
Warren's college loan plan as a subsidy for the comfortable class.
Okay.
As if, like, you know, poor people wouldn't be able to go to college.
Right.
Like, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Offer. If you got rid of that barrier, they wouldn't sign up.
Did corporate tax cuts strengthen wages? Don't believe what you hear, which I assume is that you've heard that wages are stagnating and they're bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, what an awful... I mean, you know, he writes stuff for people that want to hear this shit, right?
Yeah. This guy's a piece of fucking trash,
Everybody's
dude.
doing fine out there.
Yeah.
And $400 would change a lot of people's lives. For this month, right? I mean, like, you would catch up on so much. You wouldn't have savings. You wouldn't have Cadillac healthcare, but you would catch up on so much. I mean, even $400.
Even just an extra.
Damn, I want $400. I wish I had $400. You know?
Yeah, even like an extra amount of money, extra $400 a month. I don't think it's enough, but it is a start. You know, if we can somehow figure out how to get an extra $400 a month in people's hands.
It's just one of those amounts when you see it, they're just like you said, like the tire, $100 tire is just like, all right, bite the bullet. But when it's like $456 to get your car out, you're like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? Like, I have auto pay coming out on some shit.
And now I got to go to fucking CheckSmart. And like you said, You don't just go there once.
No.
That's not how it works, man. And a line of credit, you don't just use that
and
once.
you do $400 and you're like, I'm going to pay this off at the beginning of the month. And you're like, oh, I can't do that. I'll just pay $25. I'll just pay the minimum.
I still don't have the 400.
Right. It looks like I still don't have that magical $400. Guess I'll just pay the interest on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a wild guy.
Or like, I have rich parents. I have parents that have means, and so I'm lucky enough to and people don't have that. We can't use that as like an excuse.
No,
right?
I can't borrow $400 off my parents.
You can't expect people to just get money from their parents.
Yeah. So many people can't borrow $400 from their parents.
A lot of people don't have that.
I mean, I could.
A lot of people are lending $400 to their parents every single month.
That is true. People do lend I've lent my mom money and like people do. I can't borrow that much. I wouldn't even know how to ask my parents for money. First of all, I'm really nervous about it, but I can't borrow that kind of money off of them. I don't know who can. I don't know any of my friends now whose parents are so good in a financial spot that they can regularly borrow money off of them, like large sums of money. $400 being a large sum of money. I know to this guy, $400 isn't that much money. But, let's get our headphones in, Brett.
I'm listening. I've been wearing them.
A new song came out this week.
Okay. A debut? I didn't know this was a debut.
Well, yeah, we're doing a premiere. So what it is one of the dudes from Big and Rich. If you know Big and Rich, they are dipshits, I think. I don't know
the name.
I don't know. I know
the
Brooks
name.
and Dunn.
Sorry, I know the name, but I don't know the song.
Yeah, they do the rap songs, I believe.
Oh, hip hop country.
I think they have the cowboy guy.
Could you play something, maybe?
Cowboy Roy.
Is that too much to ask for a little taste?
You want me to play? Let me bring up.
Well, we don't want to get kicked off the stream, do we?
No. But we can. This is a YouTube video, so we can play this song. It is a live video. It is not going to kick us off. Okay?
Yeah.
I think.
They did Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
There you
One
go,
of the best
baby.
songs ever written.
There you go. So
I love Big and Rich.
Big and Rich. You got that Big and Rich.
I did,
well,
until I find out.
What I have right now is a song that he recorded with The Five. Do you know who The Five is?
No,
That's the
I'm not
Fox
familiar
News morning show.
No, I don't know The Five.
Let's look up who The Five are. Maybe we'll know some of their names. Yeah, The Five.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Okay.
I wrote a bull to that.
Okay. The Five are Greg Gutfeld.
Yikes!
I hate that
he's
guy.
the worst.
He is a fucking monster.
He's an embarrassment.
Yeah, he's terrible.
What an unlikable
that
fucking person.
Red Eye show where he just will like have people on and have them like talk about conservative issues but try to be funny about it.
He's miserable.
Imagine going on that show. That dog shit show. Dana Perino, don't know her, but I'm sure she's terrible. Jesse Waters and Juan Williams. But there's only 4 of them.
Yeah, that's weird. They're like it's like a Lone Ranger situation.
Oh, maybe they tackle 5 ideas.
Okay.
Right?
5.
Like it's like you got these 5. So anyway, the 5.
That's real obnoxious though. If you're like, hey, we're the 5, and then you're like, we're ready to get started. They're like, oh no, there's only 4 of us.
Yeah.
The 5, there's 4 of us.
Yeah. So here we go. This is John Ray. It hit #1 on the country charts on iTunes.
Does it sound like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. You know what it sounds like? Well, you're not a
this-
Mr. Show guy, so I can't
Same energy.
I can't give you who it sounds like, but it sounds like for the listeners out there that watched Mr. Show, it sounds like the guy that writes a song about blowing up the moon. 'Cause you can't mess around with God's America.
Okay.
Look out, moon, America's gonna get you. So,
Okay.
All right,
I'm
here we
excited.
go. Here
I'm
we go.
excited.
This is live from the 5. This is probably the first time he played it. Let's hope it all works right away. Here we go, baby. Oh. Well, I'm keeping the audio down because we're on commercial right now. And here we go, baby. I got to turn the audio on. Come on. Skip ads. Oh, I want the song.
Yeah, I'm ready to jam. I
Oh,
want it loud too. I want it like
he's not playing
turn
it.
it up to 11.
I gotta find this. We gotta vamp for a second. That was Greg Gutfeld.
Greg Gutfeld. He's the one that was mad about hipsters for a long time.
He's probably still mad about hipsters.
He was
I
pretty
would
upset,
guess
that people.
he's still mad. All right, this song is featuring the Five.
Big
Let's
and
get
Rich
the volume
featuring the
up.
Five.
Big, no, it's John Rich. Big is not here.
No Big. Interesting.
Some human piece of shit put a commercial on here. I can't get the Oh, hold on.
Can they hear it?
I can't make the volume turn up. It just turns off. Oh, here it is.
Caught up in the middle of a
All right, listeners.
Now we're partying.
Some people
All right, here we go, listeners. This is it. Sorry, we're not experienced broadcasters yet. About politics. Ain't nothing but a big bag of dirty tricks.
I'm tired of all the fighting and a bitching fit, so shut up about politics.
Do you think John Rich ever talks about politics, Brett? Or do you think that he believes that he talks about politics? Because my guess is that John Rich of Big and Rich talks about politics nonstop.
Everywhere he goes.
And he's talking about a certain kind of politics that we need to shut up about.
Right.
Let's get in here again.
You punch left,
I punch right.
We're caught up in the middle of a deep swamp fight. Some people lie, some people steal, and everybody's talking about the Green New Deal.
He said everybody's talking about the Green New Deal. What? I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. No coal, right?
We're not supposed to talk about...
No, don't mention it.
Yeah, come on, guys.
What are you
Nobody
talking
wants-
about wind? You talking
Look.
about making power from the wind? You talking about using the sun? You're crazy.
One thing I do know...
He's gonna get rich off of it. Tell him he can get big and rich off of it.
One thing I know for a 100% fact is I will hear this song at a barbecue this summer.
You think so?
I do think...
Who?
Well,
No.
I have to go to a
No
graduation
one's heard
party.
this.
This is #1 on the country charts. On iTunes.
It is?
Yes, this is a popular
What?
fucking
What
song.
happened to Old Town Road?
No, they took that off the country charts a long time ago.
Jesus, racism fights back hard.
I know, they're just like,
Wow.
come on, you know?
Wow.
They were like, we see this black guy talking about being a cowboy and we don't like it.
I recommend the Minion Death Cult where they talk about Lil Nas X and Wrangler because there are some very weird reactions to that story.
All right, let's see here.
Shut up about politics. Ain't nothing but a big pile of dirty tricks. I'm tired of all the fighting and a bitching fit, so shut up
All right,
about
verse 2, baby.
politics.
Lingering on the black drummer for a long time, just to let you know.
All this fussing and carrying on, it's been going on a little too long. But I got something to fix us all up. Take a shot of my whiskey from a big red cup.
So
I actually got the booze. I should have done the booze with it. I'm off beat.
now, the plan is that we all just get drunk, and politics is definitely not going to
No
come
more
up.
politics.
I think a bad
I'm going to
idea.
continue to talk about feminazis and make homophobic comments, but we're not going to fight about it. We're just going to be drunk and doing it.
One of the worst ideas I think I've ever heard is cutting off a conversation about politics by drinking.
Yes, that's
Because-
true. Maybe let's not talk about politics and part ways now.
Yeah. We'll each go to my left bar, you go to your right bar.
Yeah, let's separate. We should not share this bottle of whiskey together. It's going to be a fist fight.
Yeah. There's
have-
no way I could drop it. Well, I used to drink. I don't drink now. But if I start talking about politics and then the person I'm with is like, let's take a shot, there's no way I'm dropping it at
Yeah.
that point. It's just, my mind won't let me. My mind barely lets me when I'm sober.
Yeah.
When I'm laid back on weed, I can't stop.
No, Brian is like in the bar in someone's ear going, no, what I'm saying is the same type of depravity happens in the United States. It's not because of communism or socialism. He's like yelling that in someone's ear.
I just can't. I mean, like, the thing is such an unnatural thing. This song it's so weird.
It sounds groovy, man.
It's so weird that it's coming
like I'm
from
in like a JCPenney ad where I can just hook my thumbs in my pockets and just kind of tap my foot.
It is a JCPenney ad song.
Yeah.
Been
Just
thinking
buy
about
this St. John's Bay and shut the fuck up. It's fucking easy going. Shit's easy going around here. We got Mossy Oak around here.
I mean, it seems odd that he's talking to the people that bring up politics more than anything in the world. These fucking conservatives.
These are people are obsessed with politics.
Are the ones that are always bringing it up when you're hanging out together, and then they get pissed.
If you confront them. If you say, like, aren't you kind of a part of a death cult?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You gotta make it, political. Because I like coal. Because I hate the Green New Deal.
Aren't there like a lot of school shootings? Oh, come on!
Yeah.
You're getting awfully goddamn political over here. What the
Right.
hell?
Yeah.
Hey, don't we have the largest prison population in the entire world?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wasn't talking about politics
Well,
there. I was just talking about crime.
Mr. Rich, I understand you're very rich, but it seems that you've spent an exorbitant amount of money on the health care of your sick family member. I would like to see that kind of coverage applied to everybody so that we could all live a rich and relieved lifestyle. Oh, shit. No, you got to pay for it. You got to be big and rich to get this kind of treatment. Shut up. Yeah, and it is kind of like, just don't, it's a rallying cry? Like to just
For what?
like, stop thinking? Like really just shut your brain off?
It's a rallying cry for the worst people too. Like
It's weird it's from Fox News.
I know.
Like the people that are there are like, no, I'm doing politics. I'm here for fucking politics. I'm mad about shit. This is politics. I'm doing politics on Fox News.
all day furious.
I comment on there and let my voice be heard, and a lot of people like it. Some people angry react, but they gotta hear it.
Yeah.
I'm doing politics all day.
Yeah.
On Fox. Shut up!
Donna Brazil's in the video. Donna Brazil is in this video for some reason.
I don't know who that
She's a Democratic operative. All right, this is a pretty smooth. Look at Greg Gutfeld getting a big laugh. I think we got all the lyrics, Brett. About politics. Ain't nothing but a big bag of dirty tricks.
Oh, we need a tambourine. I need a tambourine under my desk. When we have a studio, I'm putting a tambourine down here.
Shut up! This guy wrote a 2-minute, 19-second song with 2 half versions.
He wrote it with newscasters.
I know.
We have to talk about the other newscaster crossover. Shut up!
I hate
Shut
it.
up!
I'm done. I'm done with shut up about politics.
Shut up!
I can't listen to it anymore. It's barely even a song, but it is odd, right?
I think that it's basically that. So we went and saw wrestling in Las Vegas. I sat during the national anthem, which I was doing some politics there.
You were. That was politics. I was scared shitless there.
If they replace the national anthem with that song, just to like clear the air from the very beginning, which is like, we're about to get rowdy, we're about to get rough, but we ain't gonna talk about no politics. Nobody gets to say how they feel about shit. You just need to have fucking fun here in the moment and not tell us what the fuck you believe.
Yeah.
Right?
John Rich.
It's a palate cleanser.
I got this story.
It's a mind eraser.
I got this story about John Rich, Mr. Shut Up About Politics.
Mr. Shut Up About Politics, John Rich himself.
This is from Stereo Gum. Okay, here he goes. He's an outspoken Republican, and he released a song called Raisin McCain during the 2008 presidential election. And now he's the guy who posts pictures of cut up Nike socks on Twitter. He's a 49ers. He Colin Kaepernick pissed him off, so he cut his Nikes up and posted them online, which is another thing.
That's a rough. I mean, he's gonna have a heart attack soon. I mean, that's the one thing that's good is that a guy that eats that much salt and has that much stress, like his heart is gonna be so fucking hard.
Rich spent last night on a splenetic Twitter rant about Kaepernick and Nike. The best part was showing pictures of his Soundman's cut up Nike socks, also claiming that said Soundman will also burn his Nike stuff when he gets back to Nashville. He didn't even burn his own shit.
No, he made his sound guy do it.
Hey, my sound guy.
No, don't wear those Nikes out here.
My sound guy is so pissed off at Colin Kaepernick that I'm going to have him cut his stuff up. Like, he has to come back and say his sound guy said it. Okay, well.
Well, Red and Black Rules did have a good point. Is shut up about politics sounds like a pro-censorship. Really. It does kind of sound like you can't talk. No, you're not allowed to talk about that stuff no more. You can't talk about your gender expression anymore. Nope.
He's just saying what your Nana's saying. You
That's
know what
true.
I mean? Like, that's what
this is what every dumbo eventually says at the cookout. When I was coming up, we never talked about politics or religion. And it's like, well, you're using your politics and religion to fuck with my life all the time.
I know. You're probably talking about it right now.
Right. You are conspiring against me and everything that in the way that I want to live, you know?
Yeah. That is wild to me. He's like, they always are talking about, they'll be like, I don't know, I'm hearing that they're trying to let transgendered people go to the bathroom, and then you explain your side and they get all hot about it and scream, let's not talk about politics at this place. It's like, you fucking started it.
Right.
You know?
Right. I pointed out you're being an asshole and you don't like it. That's why you don't like politics. Can we do an audible? Do you know what I want to hear next?
I can't play anything like,
You can't do
I can play Raisin McCain
Huckabee.
probably.
You can't do Huckabee and
Playing Corn?
Yeah.
I don't know if we should.
Okay.
But fuck it. We shouldn't do this because it's very wrong. I'm unhappy with this happening. I'm going to tell you, I didn't like it.
We'll see what happens. I think we'll be fine for a minute. We'll get it on the
well, it's not the song, so we should be allowed to play it.
Might get taken down. Is there?
Brian, I got to tell our audience something.
Yes, this is Mike Huckabee.
About 5.5, 6 years ago, you and I first met.
Talking to Brian Head Welch from Korn, right?
I interviewed you, and I said then, hey, we got to do music together
sometime. No, we don't.
Remember that?
No.
No. You don't have to do that, I promise.
Stop.
And you said you would do it.
He's playing that bass line,
You'll still do it, right?
They couldn't get...
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, poor guy.
I realize that when the two of us are on stage together, it may not look like that we actually blend.
He is rocking about a quarter
but we
inch
do.
back and forth when he
Yes,
plays.
we do.
He's not slapping. He's not hunched over at all. And he's keeping time with his foot so horribly. Oh, I love this.
I love this song. It just goes so hard. This Mike Huckabee on bass, though, so now we're headbanging to Mike Huckabee on accident. It's like an accident.
This is a weird movement. Dude, the instrumental.
Could you get somebody to come in and sing it? Evanescence?
Grab somebody.
You don't know another
There's
Christian?
no production assistant that can do it. It's karaoke hour, dude. It's your show, right? Isn't it his show? He can.
It's Mike Huckabee's show.
Yeah, he can let whoever sing. I would jump on the mic myself if I was Huckabee.
I would too. He don't know the words.
He does.
Because look, he's
doesn't wanna
reading
say
music.
bad words. He has the music in front of him.
He's reading the music.
He has the notes. He has like a tab. He has the notes. He can read the notes.
They're just
this
playing.
motherfucker grew up in church guitar.
I can't believe that they didn't want anybody to sing.
No, they couldn't say that kind of stuff on this.
Woo!
You know what? So this is the bonkers thing about this is that I don't know if it's ever happened before, but as a comedian, I don't think we would ever be asked by somebody to like be a part of our act. But as a musician, people like that are just like, "Hey, can I jump in with you?"
Yeah, would you mind fucking playing your one of your most famous songs? I'm trying to think of the lyrics of. There's no cusses in Blind
No.
at all, not a single one.
Is it just dark? Too dark?
It's dark. The people in the audience, because I can actually, I have some experience in this. The YKS guys, Jesse and Mike, they went to see Huckabee live.
Ooh.
It's not really a Korn type audience, I would say.
Well, he was doing this. He was just like so tight with it. He was like rocking about back and forth about a quarter inch, toe tapping like a motherfucker.
He probably felt,
He looked like he should have been playing a 1950s like church hymnal.
he probably felt uncomfortable playing.
It didn't have
that
slap though, man.
music. It didn't
I mean,
have
it
slap.
didn't have that ba 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 ba. It didn't have the like, you know.
No, he's not Fieldy Snuts.
Exactly.
He's not Fieldy.
No, I know, and so it was missing that. We saw Korn live 2 years ago. They fucking rock. You should see them if you can.
Dude, if they were coming
It's
back
good
here,
every
I would
time.
go now.
And the people that are there go off so hard for them that it's impossible not to get involved. So
It is fucking weird though. I don't want that to happen.
What?
This is a real.
you don't want Mike Huckabee jumping in on bass?
Well, this is a real moment. I think in time. This symbolizes something to me.
Okay.
So when my parents were young, right? Rock and roll, they had these rock and roll stars that their fucking parents hated and shit.
Yeah,
and they
Frank
were like
Zappa or-
listening to I don't know, fucking the Rolling Stones or whatever. Or
Alice Cooper.
Beatles. And now, when I was a kid, they were sort of lame because it was like you would see the fucking Beatles on TV, or you would see like George Harrison on TV with some fucking weird politician or some kind of thing, or the Rolling Stones would be in like a fucking McDonald's commercial or some shit. You know, like they were just kind of like they were the authorities. They were the people in power.
Right. Establishment.
People. You know, that they got picked by the puppet masters during the monoculture, right?
Right.
And like this, I think, is the first time that something that I liked when I was a kid that my parents hated has shown up in, I wouldn't call it a mainstream place, but it's Head from Korn playing fucking guitar with Mike Huckabee. You know, and this was something we talked about when we were on tour, right? It's like Gene Simmons. Like, he was a guy that my parents thought was fucking crazy and went nuts. And then by the time, you know, we were coming up, it was like Gene Simmons is a fucking dork. He was on The Apprentice or whatever. You know, that wasn't when I was. But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. He says, you know, he advocates against drinking and cigarettes and drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's square.
He's square, and they used him.
He's a conservative.
Right. He's a conservative.
Alice Cooper is a conservative.
I know. Brian Head Welch. I mean, I
Megadeth
understand.
is a conservative.
Like, there is that frame of thought where it's like, I will go anywhere where the people will engage me. You know?
Yeah.
I see arguments about it a lot online. Should Bernie Sanders have done the Fox News debate that he kind of did really well
Yeah,
at?
that was stupid.
Or should, that
Not
kind
for him
of
to
thing.
do it. I meant the debate was just
But like
stupid.
the Tucker Carlson thing where it's like leftists go on Tucker Carlson or whatever. And I don't think I would go on Tucker Carlson because he is a white nationalist. And I don't think I would do something with Fox News, you know, because I just wouldn't feel good about it. I wouldn't feel good that my people would tune into that and, like, you know, you bring anything to it. You know, I just don't want to. I don't want to be involved with something like that.
Oh, I would
But-
do it.
Yeah. I also see the frame of mind that's like, I will go wherever somebody will engage with me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
You
feel
have
like
to,
if
I
I
mean-
went to Fox News, they would be engaging.
No, it'd be
I don't
a
think
shitty
it-
treatment, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it would be everywhere. You know, they just fuck with it.
But
They-
I mean, but they're also, if you can keep your head together, I mean, they're paper tigers, dude.
right.
Bernie Sanders went over there and got a lot of people on his fucking side.
Katie Halper went over there and killed that one
Right.
time, if you remember.
I think it's easy.
About
They're-
Ilhan Omar.
They're fucking dumbasses.
Yeah, yeah.
They really are
Yeah.
that stupid. I mean, they just
Yeah.
get along because everybody's
mean,
playing along with it.
Though, would you go on like a white nationalist? Like Tucker Carlson is a white nationalist.
I don't
if
know.
you
That's
look at
for
the
you,
news that he
whatever.
does, I wouldn't go. Whatever. I'm not. There's like a lot of stuff I wouldn't do, I guess. But in the future, when I'm like 60 or something like that, what is that guy gonna think? You know, that's the same thing with Head. I'm like, he's in his 50s now. he's a Christian. He's probably been out hanging out with Christians all the time. And like, Mike Huckabee is just this guy. It's kind of goofy that I'm here. It's a novelty that I'm playing guitar with this guy, you know? So I get why he did it. I'm not like angry at him at all, really. I mean,
See,
what are you going to do?
You can tell by our place in culture that like only the worst people elevate to the top, right? I mean, only the horrible people become rock stars and shit. They were like always shithead.
How many of them do you think are conservative now? Like with the new metal
once you get
guys?
money, man. I mean, once you get that money, we'll see. We'll be a conservative radio. Once you get Brian's gonna get that $200,000 he talks about, and then become a conservative podcast.
Yeah.
A centrist conservative podcast.
Let's look at Joe Biden. What he's up to. I know.
He's doing well, I hope. Making lots of money.
I saw this article and it bothered me. Joe Biden won't commit to reducing the prison population by a percentage target.
Cool.
Is kind of the
Yeah.
thing. And I guess like if I was gonna vote, for a person, I would want them to have reducing the prison population as a part of their platform, and by a significant amount. You know, like if we're just these guys. I mean, like a lot of times you feel like it's like, and this would be wonderful. We'll let all the people in jail for pot possession get out. And it's like, that still leaves a shitload of people in jail.
Right.
Like, we gotta, you know, kind of move to like having a society where it's like going to jail is hard.
And like, that's not gonna happen in like real life though.
Right, but you have to say this stuff. You know what I mean? Remember the last elections are.
Joe Biden is not going to do that. And,
right.
And
I'm
also
saying,
you're tying him to a percent, and he's like, he's hedging his bets. He's like thinking like, you know, if I have to live up to that number.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't, and he doesn't give a shit.
I mean, but elections are about lying.
Right.
And just saying that they
just lie, like, please lie.
Elections,
please at least pretend like you want to do better.
I think elections, we don't vote on issues. Like that's the common misconception that we vote on issues or character or some kind of image thing. We truthfully vote on what we think is in that guy's heart. Do you understand? Because like he voted for Obama. We heard him say so much shit that he wanted to do, and we knew he wasn't going to fucking do it. You know, especially the second time where it's like, this motherfucker's out here saying all this stuff. He ain't going to fucking do it.
Well, I just think that they've been I mean, I don't know. I guess never in my life have the Democrats not been law and order. I mean, they've always been very consistent with putting people in jail and not fucking with that at all. You know,
yeah, that's
like
true.
I said, I mean,
that's
Biden
true.
did the thing where, like in the '80s, he made the 3 strikes rule, and then 20 years later, under Obama, he repealed parts of it, which is like you didn't do anything except for, you know, undo the damage that you fucking did. You know?
Yeah.
And Hillary, her husband, I don't think any of those people are committed to like reducing the prison population. I wouldn't expect that from any Democratic presidential candidate.
Right. I just don't want to hear like, so this is here's part of his answer.
I don't even think Bernie Sanders probably gets squeamish about it.
But he's talked like, that's the thing. It's like the dude has said things about it. I would like to hear more. I mean, that's my dream, is to get Bernie Sanders on the show and make him talk about like criminal justice and drugs and shit like that. Cause it just doesn't feel like he didn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd like his answers about drugs. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Sure.
But I would like to hear him.
We wouldn't know until he comes on.
Yeah, come on, motherfucker. But you would like to hear him say, like, people shouldn't be locked up in a jail for drugs. Even if you don't know if he can fix it or do it or any of that shit. Like, one thing I want to hear, I want to hear somebody say people don't belong in a jail because of drugs, because it's ridiculous that people are in jail.
Yeah, it's not helpful.
It's crazy.
It's a waste of money. We spend too much time, energy, resources, all of it to keep it going, and there's better solutions that would make the world a better place.
Yeah. His explanation, too, is kind of one of the folks. There are some circumstances in which people should be behind bars because, in fact, they have committed a heinous crime and they remain a threat to society. Here is the deal. we don't want to let those people out. Nobody is like out there pushing to let a guy that committed a heinous crime. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody's out there saying like, yeah, he shot 35 people, but I think he's learned his fucking lesson.
Right.
Let's let him out of jail. I mean, I am more
serial killers.
Yeah. He's acting like the whole fucking thing is like, we gotta let these fucking serial killers, like these other libs, they want to let all the serial killers out because they figure like, why would they do it again? They already got caught once. It's embarrassing. We'll let them out. We'll put them on probation. You know,
Right?
Like it's fighting against it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like
they're awful. I mean, they're awful.
Yeah, yeah,
They have the worst reading of it.
yeah.
They don't understand how many people are how many families are broken up over needless, stupid rules
Yeah. Yeah.
in courts.
I mean, he did say we should not be putting people in prison for drug offenses.
okay,
Which is, I mean, hey, that's sort of what you want to hear, but he also wants to send them to like work houses, work programs and shit
sounds
like that.
Clockwork Orange or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I hate that. Yeah, yeah. The forced rehab, I don't think that helps anybody. I really don't think that forced rehab helps any of the people that end up in rehab.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's life changes like that. I do know actually the results from a lot of that are very small.
And
I mean, it's
money,
a program that works for some people for sure.
but somebody makes money, right? Like there's a rehab company that makes money
Right.
off of it, so it's all worth doing.
Sure.
You know, I don't know, man. Let's look at this. I got two more we can hit. Fuck you, Joe Biden, by the way. Just fuck you. Katie Halper likes it when I say fuck you, Joe Biden, but I can't do the exasperated thing because I'm just not surprised by anything he says anymore. I saw a story about I saw an odd story from the perspective of management about a thing.
Okay.
This is for the Reddit called "Am I the Asshole?"
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, is it one you're familiar with?
Yes, I have seen that one.
Like I said, I never looked at Reddit. I wish somebody would send me all the funny subreddits. Like I want to be able to go. This sounds like a place that I would like to see. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, there's usually good stuff on this.
I actually have one in my show doc now that I'm gonna look at every once in a while called Tales from the Front Desk, about people that work at hotels. And boy, they have the weirdest problems. I would lean towards, I haven't had a job with weird customer problems, you know?
No, they have to deal with everything
Yeah, yeah.
under the sun. It's people that are bringing their life and all their problems of their life to your place for the night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't even hear, they don't call much. We don't get a lot of hotel workers calling into the show. I think it's I think it might be a harder job to get. They're like a little more choosy.
I don't know. I think it's just a limited job. I mean, most of the people I know were just like, a lot of people I knew did desk jockey work overnight, like in college, and they would do homework and stuff while they sat at the desk. And then just weird problems would get thrown at them.
Right, yeah,
That was
yeah.
one person that I knew. That's my only anecdotal evidence that I know.
Well, I know somebody that works at a hotel now, and it's a very nice hotel. It's a very fancy hotel that a lot of the rich people in town hang out at the bar there. And me and Brett have heard stories about things like
Wild requests.
She'll tell you some wild stories about stuff.
Yeah,
but,
and
like,
weird happenings in the hotel.
doo-doo guys.
There was a
and-
guy, like a extremely well-dressed gentleman in a very expensive suit that shit all over his room and covered every inch of the hotel room with his shit, and then checked out and left and just disappeared.
Yeah, got mad because they charged him for the stuff.
Yeah,
too.
they got mad because he got charged a cleaning fee.
I mean, I would have you know what I would have done with that? I
Rub
would
his
have put a
nose in it?
brick wall in the door, and nobody would ever be able to go in
just
that
wall
room
it off.
again.
Fill it with cement.
Yeah, dog, you're not allowed to stay here and rub your shit all over the place. But you can see why a guy would do that, because you don't want to do that at your own house.
No, that would be terrible to do at your own house. But, you know, you want to paint with poop.
Yeah, I
would not do that in my sheets. I would
Maybe
do
you-
that on the hotel sheets, yeah.
maybe rent a dookie apartment.
Oh.
Right? Like just rent your own apartment,
But then
duke
you
in
can
it, and then you can hire somebody to
somebody.
come in and clean it up.
Cheaper than a hotel, probably.
Well,
That
but if you
hotel.
don't see the hotel thing, doing
They're
it in
going
an
to charge you
expensive
for replacements for everything.
right,
dude.
doing it in an expensive hotel probably ensures that you don't do it very often.
He's
And
like a
if you're a
pay pig or
doo-doo
something.
spreader, if you like to spread doo-doo all over the place, you're probably trying to
He
quit.
like maxed his credit card out.
Yeah.
His Amex was like to the limit. He's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I have to pay that down before I can go.
I can imagine, like, in his mind that he's not trying to, like, quit this compulsion.
You think
To
so?
get this compulsion
Yeah,
to
he
quit.
yeah.
So he's spending large amounts of money so that it's almost like a punishment
Right.
after to get him to be like, I can't, like, if he
have
rented an
to
apartment,
stop.
he'd just be over there every
I'm gonna
night.
be in financial ruin.
Yeah. Well, if he just rented an apartment, he'd be over there every night. He would
Yeah.
never see any other people or anything like that because that's, like, all he wants to do, you know?
Yes. And that's only because he's extremely rich and wealthy. And that's a pathology that those people get into because they have too much time on their hand and aren't connected to reality.
And can get their
think
hands on
don't
anything.
understand that $400 is an inconvenience. They have to do a $4,000 shitting all over a hotel room to really feel inconvenienced.
Yeah. To feel, like, alive.
Yeah.
You
You're
know?
like, oh, I'm in trouble. Baby's in trouble. I'm going to poop my diaper again. That guy was awful. But I just imagine him. Now, every time I see somebody, like in Las Vegas, all those people at Caesar's Palace that were in the suits and stuff, I just imagine them being like disgusting creeps that can't find joy in life because they have so much money. And they
Yeah.
have to just do off-the-wall shit.
Yeah. 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 Just being able to pay for something like that makes you, I think, weird, right? Like, it's like you have all this
Pay
money.
somebody else to clean up your poop. Do it yourself.
I know.
You
should
make
have
your
been
own
cleaning
mess. You
up.
clean it up.
Yeah. Plastic.
Yes.
Like, you could do it in plastic and then just pull the plastic
Tarp
up
it,
and, like, turn
tarp
it into
it.
a bag and just leave it in the trash can.
He doesn't
And I
like
don't
that. He
want
wants
you
to ruin
do
a
that.
sofa, man. He wants to ruin a sofa.
Okay. So no plastic? This guy is a no plastic.
Sorry, we're getting too gross.
Okay, so this is from the Am I the Asshole Reddit, and here we go. I'm the VP of sales at a software company, and one of our sales development reps' parents passed away at the beginning of April. Sadly, they were involved in a car crash and both lost their
How
lives.
old is this kid?
He's now the employee is in question is very young, 22-year-old guy.
Jesus.
And has been with them for about 10 months. He's been at this business for about 10 months. He's a 22-year-old, and both of his parents suddenly died.
I know.
This isn't
I know.
like a fucking, like, I had a bunch of time to prepare for this and think about this.
Right.
He is 22, and both of his parents are dead. And like, I know that would have fucked me up at 22 really bad, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you feel like any kind of a safety net that you maybe had, like, goes away completely overnight. It's like
mean,
when
yeah,
you're
it's a lot.
22, you're still thinking like, I might have to move back in with my parents.
Sure.
sometime.
Sometimes you're thinking that, right?
Yeah. So it's just and
it's
on top of losing your parents sounds horrible.
Yeah, and that is. I mean, it is hard, and that's that's when $400 becomes a problem real quick.
Yeah. His job, he's worked there for 10 months now. He's a great employee, and we were thinking about promotions in the next 6 months for him. His
Okay.
job is a high-paying one for a new grad, about $90,000 a month,
Okay.
or $90,000 a year with
year.
commission and base.
Wow.
So we expect a lot from
Wait,
this
with
position.
commission?
Yeah, it says with commission and base. And so we expect a lot from this position. Because of the accident, we let him take a 1-month paid leave of absence from work.
Okay.
And he's returned a few weeks ago, and his performance is severely lacking. Yeah.
Tragedy. That's why I laugh.
He's super unmotivated. He's not cold calling out and reaching to prospect.
Oh, really?
He's not outreaching prospects for the last 2 to 3 weeks, enough since he's come back home. So he came back to work, and he don't want to do anything.
Right.
You know, he's doing a minimum. Both of his parents are fucking dead.
Yeah.
He's been off work for a month.
It's gonna take a minute to get things started back up again.
Right.
Probably. Right.
Yeah.
This is not just 3. This is 3 weeks. I mean, if this was a year later, and you're like, is it weird to maybe consider, if he's not going to get better? But we're talking 3 weeks after he's back.
Yeah. Our whole management team has noticed this, and we decided to let him go because we feel like he'd need months and months to be able to produce again, and we just can't wait that
You
long.
don't have potential, kid.
Um,
Damn.
That's
so
crazy
fucked
though.
up.
He just can't wait that long.
I mean, you can wait that long. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
You can come around the bend. Like 3 weeks is nothing.
Give him, yeah. I mean, there's no real time frame for getting over both of your parents suddenly dying. I don't like the way that Jobs think, the way the management at Jobs think is that there is like this set number of days.
Well, you're on paper, man. You're not a person.
Right, but it's like a set number of days to get over things.
And wouldn't they offer any sort of grief counseling at all at that job, I wonder?
I mean, no jobs. Do jobs do that?
I don't know.
Very often, because none of mine ever did. They were always like, if you need to go to counseling, we got insurance. You
Right.
Like they were always telling us, go to counseling. But it like even then, it's like not everything in your life is always fucking banging on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are times where things happen non-work related that will affect your performance at work for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's not the top thing on your mind because you're trying to figure out the fucking world that you're living in.
The point of living.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think it's ridiculous. The numbers went down. They didn't say he stopped working altogether.
Yeah, he was probably treading water.
Yeah, the guy's, still
He's going through some shit.
Yeah, has having some trouble right now.
Yeah.
Probably needs some assistance,
Yeah,
a helping hand. I mean, something besides just like, wow, your numbers are dropping.
Right. Yeah.
A performance review.
We called him into a meeting on Friday afternoon and gave him the bad news. He was very calm and rude about it. Told us to go fuck ourselves and got up and went to his desk, grabbed his few things and left. I thought this was very, very unprofessional and extremely rude.
Oh, yeah.
I told my boyfriend about all of this and he said myself and my management team are a bunch of asses and pricks with no hearts.
Yeah, that's why I like that subreddit.
Am I the asshole? Yeah. I mean,
that's an
like
asshole thing.
that's a horrible.
We had a lady that had like fibromyalgia, and she had a hard time like coming back to work, but eventually was worked through it. But it's trying times. I mean, that's just what it is when you work with people, right?
Yeah,
things happen.
This is I got this story from a tweet from Daps95, Daps_95 on Twitter. Seems cool. I mean, I don't know. But man, what a fucking like I hate this idea that the job is a place that is undeniable. They don't see their role as anything other than writing you a check every month.
Yeah.
But that check is what we all have to live on.
Right.
Right? Like, so like, that's how we get our food and shit. That's how we get our bills paid or whatever, our shelter and all of that stuff.
Right.
I think it sucks that like, I don't know, like that they are so hands off on something like that. Like, I don't know what you do, right? When something tragic happens to an employee and they come back and they're not who they were before they left. Like, I don't know what the solution to the problem is, but I do know that it's going to take more than 2 or 3 weeks to figure out like where you even are in the world.
It seems like 2 or 3 weeks is you're like, oh, this fucking sad sack again, reminding us that his fucking parents died again. Like, get over it, buddy. What the fuck? I mean, it's been 3 weeks now. Like, we need those reports. Like, it doesn't matter who's dead or alive. You need to be doing the reports.
Yeah. Oh, I know you're going through a lot of stuff right now, but this business only works when we do our jobs.
Right.
And so if you could just come in here and do your job, it doesn't even sound like you got a warning at all.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a like, we noticed that your work is dropped off.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Well, because
I love the fact that he was like, they said that he was calm and rude.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he just was like, all right, I understand you'll be firing me. Well, fuck you. You're an asshole. Not even that. Just like, fuck you. Just like, fuck you. You're an asshole.
When you say unprofessional and rude too, it's like that's how